Hello, one and all, and welcome to the second pre-season race for the League of Europe Season 4. We are here with Lobby 2 for our second week, and yeah, we're going to get this underway. So we see the guys race at China. This week we are at beautiful sunny France here at Paul Ricard, so we're going to get into this very soon. I'm QVR Dak, and I'm joined, as per usual, with my co-commentator QVR Verstappen. How are you doing, fella?
Hello everyone, and once again welcome to LOE pre-season race. You actually mentioned that France. Yeah, I'm doing quite well. Quite excited here for hopefully a good race. Difficult track, quite harsh on penalties and tires as well. So let's get on with it.
Yes, indeed. So we can see our lobby. 18 drivers it is now that are going to take on this Paul Ricard circuit. We'll see how they get on. As you mentioned, it's quite technical and very difficult on penalties. So the drivers that are able to keep it within the white lines come the race are going to be the ones that could excel going forward. Speaking of excel, I just want to mention we have a name change. XL Ling is, I believe, XL Dan from last season. I don't know why he changed his name. I'll consult him on that maybe later, but just for anyone watching in case they're a little bit confused by that. So yeah, I believe Packer is the first car out on track, who I don't think was racing in the lobby we commentated over last time, so we'll see how he can fare against these guys there. We're going to see a first glimpse of his pace now as he goes on the outlap. They're going to be the first car to start a lap in this second pre-season race.
Yeah, definitely. We'll see how his pace is indeed as it's coming towards turn 12. Just trying to warm up the tires at the right temperature, which he would like to. And coming through the penultimate corner, slows down a little bit to start his lap. Tight here and around the hairpin of turn 15 as he opens up the throttle and opens the DRS to start his lap.
So here we go then, Aero Packer heads towards turn 1 to kick things off. Then you can see now, using that curve a little bit on the right hand side there through turn 2, going to run out onto that outside curve now. This track is all about using every millimetre of the width that's given to you now. Into turn 3, hit the apex on the inside there, hook it going through 4, flick it, then right going into turn 5. Difficult traction zone there, you got to be delicate on that throttle not to spin it out there. He fights the car a little bit there. Easy flat left of turn 7, now on to the Mistral straight, then opens up that DRS, powering down yet again. You can see the speed climb as he heads up over 330 there, 335 as he gets on the brakes into the Mistral chicane then, through turn 8, through turn 9, pick up the throttle pedal on exit there, try and avoid that wheel spin at the rear end and catapult it down the second part of this straight, going into the last sector now in the Alfa Romeo, heading into another easy flat right-hander, turn at 10, and another corner that's not easy flat. This one, turn 11, run it out wide and scoop it back in for the double apex right-hander, pick up the curb on exit, get back to the right-hand side on the brakes for the short, sharp left of turn 12, pick up that throttle again then, heading towards the last two corners now. Turn 13, got to take it tight then, making sure you clip that apex on the inside. Now the final corner at turn 15, clip the apex on the inside, run it out wide, and that's going to be the first lap in this session from our Packer. He comes over the line and he does a 28.4 to kick off this quality session.
And following in behind is QVR Chill as he comes across the line. Let's see what he sets. He's 128.3, 10 faster than Aero Packer. Let's see him behind. I think there's a Williams coming.
Yes, Wyatt comes over the line and he does a 29.5. I think he backed off that lap, or it was invalid anyway. So yeah, he's maybe going again. Bullet Boy has gone into third place on the medium tyres, interestingly, so a little bit of a different flavour. We're actually going to look at the fitted tyres. He's one of only 2 drivers on those mediums. Peter has those fitted as well, but I don't think he's left the pit lane yet. But the rest of the field is on softs. It's Ben GS, who impressed last week. He's doing it again then, another quick lap to open up the session. A 28.9 kicks things off, and yet again, he could be looking good on quality pace there. We'll see how he stacks up against these experienced drivers ahead of him.
Yes, Carmentless goes up into P2, half a tenth behind Ben JS as Ryan improves 27.7. Wow. Really quick lap time, and XL Ling is in behind on a 27.9, 2 tenths behind Ryan.
Yeah, that's a Really impressive lap from Ryan, who was in Division 4 last season there, against a lot of former Division 2 and Division 3 drivers, and some even Division 1 drivers. That is crazy, crazy impressive from XO Ryan. Maledictus goes 5th, as, so you had pretty early days in the session, a few lap times creeping in. We've got 2 XL guys at the top of the timesheets, the only guys in the 27s there. It's a good start for them. Can they keep this up?
Yeah, let's see as Ireland Team Matty come around the final corner, open up the DRS and see where he comes up in the timesheets. It's a 1:28.1 P3, good lap time from the Racing Point driver.
Yeah, very, very decent from ILRT Matty. I think Slash is coming near the end of his lap, although I think he's just invalidated and now he's going to go again. So we're going to watch for Tiger, Division 3 driver from last season, and he's definitely going to be looking to impress in this field then, and he kicks it off with a decent-ish lap of 28.4, and you can see it's so close down that midfield from Ben down to Tiger. It's just over 2 tenths, so that's P4 to P11, so crazy, crazy close at the moment.
Yes, we're kind of used to, aren't we, at this point?
Yeah, indeed. Because, we know we commentated on, of course, Division 2 last season, which was insanely competitive. Just looking at the chat there, you got 17 viewers, so thanks very much for that, guys. Frankie says, hey, all, look up. Go, Jasper, go. Is Jasper in this lobby? I'm can't even...
No, he's not.
Well...
So,
awkward.
Yeah.
Anyway...
We'll have to look on for another drive on the lap. It's a bit quiet at this point in the session. So drivers have just finished their first laps. I think it's Peter who's just started the lap, and he's been a bit blocked there by Packer.
Oh wow!
Not as he just came out of the pits, so I think he'll abandon that lap and try again. Fortunately for him.
Yeah, very unlucky there for Peter. He's actually a very old member of the league. Then he's recently joined back and now driving for season 4. We'll see how he stacks up then, because I think he was verging on Division 1 pace, but that was a few years ago, so we'll see if he's still got that in his locker. But who's that? I think Skyzy is actually the next driver that's just started a lap, so we'll look for the Ferrari, see how he stacks up then as he heads on his first lap of the session and immediately invalidates going through turn 2, and he's going to have to back off that one there and go again. Not a great start to lap setting for Skyzy, and that he's gonna have to go back to the drawing board, but he's still got 10 minutes to try and improve. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah, so he invalidated that turn 2. It's a very technical corner. You don't want to get too tight because that curve can be catastrophical for some drivers, and on the other hand, if you go too wide, you'll invalidate. So we'll have to see. A lot of drivers struggling with that one.
It's also
QVR Chill is just turning his lap.
Yeah, about turn 2, it's also a corner where a lot of time could be won or lost. It's quite high speed and it's got a decently long run down into turn 3, so there's a lot of time to be gained there if you get it right. Anyway, Chill through at turn 1, clips the apex nicely on the inside, run it out again. Again, it's just all about using as much of the track width as you physically can. Now going into turn 3, early turn in and gets invalid again. That's another driver. And you mentioned it's so difficult to stay within the white lines of this track, and these drivers pushing to their limits, they are struggling with it then. That's another driver invalid early on in the lap of the first sector.
Yeah, definitely. As someone who's not invalid, at least in the first sector, probably I've jinxed him now, but CPI Bullet Boy sets a purple sector 1 so far, so he's looking quick at the moment. Former D1 driver, of course. So let's see as he's open up the DRS to the missile straight, 330 kilometers an hour, he'll take up into the chicane, into turn 8 and 9, into second gear briefly and back up to third, 4th, and shifts us up towards the sector 2 split. Let's see what time he sets. It's 48.6. It seems like his purple 9 tenths up. That'd be around P3, around the other racing points of Ireland Team Matty, coming down towards turn 11. So he brakes very late, 4th gear and back up to 5th. A lot of momentum carried into that corner, very nicely done by CPI Bullet Boy as it gets on the traction quite nicely as well, out of turn 12, coming through turn 13 and then down into 14. Very difficult corner, stay tight, 3rd gear, 4th, and back down to 2nd for the last corner, and getting the traction down to open up the DRS. And let's see what lap time CPI Bullet Boy does.
Up to the line now, and it is fast, just pipping XL Ryan then on a 27.7 yet again. Then I think Pedro's just coming up to the line as well, and we'll see where he goes. He was only 14th though, so maybe didn't quite get the best lap he could have possibly got in there. As White Wise managed to de-rate the car on the run to the line, goes 15th, so I'm not sure how he's managed that, but because I didn't think that was possible in this game. But yeah, he's on, and skies it yet again. It validates near the end of the lap, this time coming out of turn 12, and he's going to have to go pit lane bound, so he's struggling to get that lap together. I think he's got a lot of potential, but if he just needs to hook it up if he wants to get up near the top of the timesheets in this session.
Yes, JSD on the mediums comes round the final corner, so it won't be a really competitive time, but let's see what he can do. He comes across the line with a 1:29.863, and that's P16 for now.
Ling has just come up to the line and improves it just a little bit there. That's a 28.78 then for the Red Bull driver, who's been a championship contender in pretty much every season that he's in any league race. So of course he's going to be a fixture, I'm sure, hopefully for him, near the top of the leaderboards in Division 2 or possibly Division 3. We'll see where he's going to end up there. Matty, I'm watching, he's 2/10 down on his time. So I'm going to cut to Ben, who again, as I mentioned, has been very impressive all the way through really, and we'll see how he gets on. We've got more drivers on laps again coming towards the line, but 6 minutes, just under 7 minutes to go in this qualifying session. We're going to see a lot more drivers out on track now trying to better their lap times in, and we'll see how they all pair up. And I'm especially excited to see how Ryan gets on, because he said that's point time very early on in the session, so he's probably got more in the locker. We'll see what he has to offer.
Yes, LR Hype, the other Mercedes, comes across the line. Let's see what he can do. 28 flat as he goes up to P4.
Yeah, alright lap then from LR Hypes then, and Ben going through turn 12 there, scoops it into the apex, and a bit of a struggle for traction on exit, but he's on it now, going in to the final few corners of the lap then. Keeps a very tight line, going through 14 and now into 15, opening up first gear to rotate the car, and then power on the throttle out of the last corner. Where does Ben GS currently sit 7th? With this lap he goes into P5, jumps up into Matty and Maledictus and goes just in behind Hypes. That's a decent lap from Ben. He's still proving that he can be up there in this company. As yeah, who else, anyone else on a big flying lap at the moment there? I'm not entirely sure. So yeah, maybe a little bit quiet. And I think Slash might be the furthest guy along there, heading into turn 11 now. Let's see where he stacks up in his first proper lap in the session.
Yes, he carries again a lot of speed for that long right-hander. Quite impressive to see the downforce on those cars around those corners. And now back into the second gear, even for turn 12. A little bit of a struggle on the exit. Let's see, come down into turn 14, what he can do. Back down to third gear and now into the final corner. And opens up nicely as he goes on to the throttle. DRS open. And let's see where he comes out. MMA Slash is a 1:28.1 into P8. Good lap time.
Yeah, that's very respectable indeed. I think QVR Chills validated getting on a lap, so he's going to potentially not be able to finish that. How's he actually standing on this flying lap? He's 2/10 up. Someone is quite far on. That's NGS on an end.
Tiger.
Tiger, right. We're going to watch the Alfa Romeo. He's 3/10 up on his time, and that can jump you up right up to 7th from 14. That's just how close this field is at the moment there. So Tiger into turn 12, third gear, short shift to 4th to find traction on exit then. Going to try and pick it up now into turn 13 and to 14, sorry. Runs very wide though, and he's going to try and get that back to the left hand side to bring it in for the last corner then. DRS is open with the Alfa Romeo. Where does he stack up? He does a 27.9, which puts him up into P4, so he's amongst that elite 27 club, just about with a 999. But yeah, it's a good lap from Tiger, former Division 3 driver, and he's looking good in this lobby too. They're very competitive time, but 1:27.9 puts him up in P4 for now.
Yes, Iro Packer just went up into P8 with a 28 flat 0.93, excuse me. And I think we're watching Mr. Skyzy as he's just invalidated another lap, I think. It's not great to see. He's been struggling to keep it on the road so far. Let's hope he's able to set at least a lap in. Be good to see for him.
Indeed, it would be. Of course, he's the last driver not to set a time. We'll see how JSD gets on as well, because of course we saw that medium lap from him, and the gap between the mediums and the softs is think, over a second at this track, do you think? So
yeah, around 1.2 seconds I'd estimate,
so he can
maybe
put himself up there if he nails the lap. We'll see how he gets on. Former Division 1 driver, of course, you'd expect big things from him. We'll see how if he's able to stack up in this quali session.
Yeah, definitely is. I think Skies has just started on a lap. He may have just been on the out lap as he comes towards turn 3. Is anyone else on the lap? I don't really think so, so should be good to go on board with Skyzy as he comes through turn 5. As he runs quite wide there.
Gets away with it.
Doesn't invalidate, quite surprisingly. As he's coming through turn 7 onto the mid-health straight and opens up the DRS towards the chicane. Very long straight, and we'll see the most of overtakes around here, I reckon. It's as wide as possible to cut in for turn 8. Missed the apex quite a bit. Low gears, and now down into the next corner, which will be turn number 10, sector 2 split 48.9. Let's see as he comes around turn 10. Flat out easily, 315 kilometers an hour, and now down into turn 11, down to 4th gear, and now back up to 5th to get the traction down quite nicely there with the Ferrari driver. Misses the apex bit wide, he prefers to, it seems. As now coming towards turn 13 and 14. At the penultimate corner, of course, 3rd gear, and now down into the final corner. 1st gear for a little bit more rotation there. And now open up the DRS, so let's see where Mr. Skyzy comes out. This is 1:27.8 into P3, good lap time.
Yep. And he puts himself right in the mix in this qualifying session. I think the furthest driver on the lap is Peter at the moment. He's 3/10 off at his time, so maybe he can boost his position out on track for the time being there through turn 10. Nice and flat out. Now, onto a turn in for 11. You can see he runs wide to get a better exit there. You got to pick up the throttle early. Fights the car for traction, but just about keeps it together. Now into turn 12, runs it wide again. Packer retires from the session. He might be content with that 28 flat that he's set in P9 for the moment. Now it's Peter now into the last corner. A lot of understeer in that Renault, and runs very wide around the last corner. He's going to try and pick up the throttle, but that's going to compromise his run greatly to the line. Where does he end up? Regardless, it is a 29 flat. That last sector really ruined him there, and I don't think he's going to have a chance to set another time. So his session is done. He will start no higher than 16th.
Yes, LR Hypes, I think the next one on the lap is a lot of drivers here start in the lap, so let's see if he gets anything held up by the traffic. See, he's looking on a quick one down into the final corner. A bit of a lock up on the front right tire. Here he comes, DRS open. Let's see where he comes out. Open up the throttle, and let's see a 1:27.6. That's provisional pole position. Good lap time.
Just half a tenth clear, but winning's winning. It doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. So here we go now, the last dash in this qualifying session. Then we'll see who's going to try and stack up to that mark set by LR Hype. So who's going to be the next driver through? I think Matty might be quite close now. I'm looking at the wrong one. It might be Bullet Boys just starting a lap. A little bit of confusion here, but yeah, that's going to be it then, closing down on the end of this session, and with every driver now on a lap. Oh, does Tiger make it? No, I think he just missed out.
Seems like, I don't know, can't really tell. As QVR Chills come around the final corner, a lot of speed for that last corner. Very impressive as he opens up the DRS. Let's see as he comes across the line. This is a 1:28 flat, goes up to P9. Let's see Williams in behind, White only P16. You'll not really be happy with that, I reckon.
Ben coming up to the line as well then, and that Renner goes P4, good lap then, he gets into the 27th as well. GSD goes 7th on a 0.9 and just gets pipped by Slash then, who also moves up. So a lot of drivers now joining that 27 club. It's not quite as exclusive anymore, as Ling does a huge lap at 27.4, which is absolutely monstrous. To not see that one coming. Usually qualifying pace is something of weakness for him, but judging off that, it's looking very, very impressive for him. As I'm just watching, I think Ryan is going to be one of the next drivers over the line then. Pole time at the moment is a 27.4. Ryan up to the line now, does a 27.6 and goes second just in front of his teammate LR Hypes, and we're running out of time in the session. It's Tiger, I think, who's going to bring it up then, so we'll see how he is going to fare. Going to try and bring it around turn 14. A lot of understeer in that car, but he's got to try and pick up that throttle yet again. Then opens the DRS, opens the throttle as well, but I think it's a little bit off where he wants to be, and it's a 28.1. It's going to put a P9, so that is going to be it then for this session. Very high quality, very competitive, but it's XL Ling or XL Dan who puts himself on pole position. A little bit of unfamiliar territory for him, but he's looking very good. I'll leave it to Verstappen to take you through the results.
Yes, it's an XL front row lookout as XL Ling takes pole position, 1.5 tenths ahead of XL Ryan. Hypes and Bullboy in behind in third and fourth. Then it's Ben JS and Mr. Skyzy, MMA Slash and JSD, and Tiger and Maledictus rounding up the top 10. Then with Free Tires choice, we have QVR Chill, Aeropacker, Matty, Carmentalist, the Big Panther, Dylan, Wi-Fi, and Peter may round off the grids for the French pre-season race.
Yes, indeed. So that is going to be it then. You see again a lot of more of the newer faces up near the front of the timesheets, which is good to see. So they're going to be proving to be very competitive in this division, hopefully going ahead of the season. Of course, we're in Lobby 2, which is a de facto Division 2 with a few adjustments. Of course, it's not finalised, but if you're looking forward to Division 2, this is roughly what your grid could look like ahead of the season. So we're going to get into it then, and we'll see what the guys outside the top 10 are going to opt for, because it seems, I think the fastest race strategy theoretically is a medium to hard. So I expect most of the guys outside the top 10 to be starting on that, or a reverse strategy starting with a hard. So we'll see how it all shapes up. But of course, all those guys in the top 10 on softs, and predictably probably a lot of guys outside the top 10s on mediums and hards. So that divide is going to make a very interesting strategic development ahead of this race.
Yeah, definitely. But track position is quite important, as may have been mentioned before. So it's quite difficult to get past with a lot of DRS frames may be forming. So I have to see how those drivers at the back of the grid will get through, if they get through. And the tire wear can be quite high on the soft hards strategy. So we'll have to see how the drivers at the front will manage that.
So it is XL Ling that brings them off the line. Let's see the tyre choices outside the top 10. It's fairly mixed. There's Packer on the softs, the majority on the mediums, and it's Carmentalist and Dylan starting on those hard tyres. So a little bit rebellious from the IRO guys actually, with the rest of them, Chill, Matty, Big Panther, Watch My Bike and Peter all starting on the mediums, and yeah, just trying to preserve their tyre wear going ahead of the race. But of course all those top 10s on softs, we'll see if they can hold on at the front and maybe try and gap those guys behind.
Yeah, that will definitely be the goal of the soft runners at the moment. It's XL Ling lean the front of the grid. Not seen this a lot, but let's see, maybe he's found some pace around front here. Let's see if he can get off the line quite nicely. Turn 1 and 2 can be a bit chaotic. It's pretty high speed corners and not as much room as you'd maybe think. So let's see how those drives get on. I'm sure we'll clean us. I'm seeing predicted pit stop strategies coming in. The rest, of course, won't really be the defined strategies, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, no, do remember that Ling did win this race last season in Division 2, so he does have some credentials around this racetrack, and he's showing them here today. But of course, Ryan, arguably the big story of qualifying, Division 4 champion, and he is fitting right into what could be a potential Division 2 seat, right up near the front of the field, and he's going to be catching the eyes of a lot of drivers around him. The XL guys locking out the front row. Will they stay there though ahead of the race?
Yeah, let's see as the grids come around the final corners and just have warmed the tires as much up as they can, or as much up as they'd like, and just taking their grid slot right now.
So XL Ling guides them round and rests on that pole position spot. We'll see if that holds going down towards turn 1, where it can get very tight and twisty. It's a bit of a pinch point going into turn 2, so you can see cars coming together. Hopefully, of course, we don't want a nice and clean start to this race, and nice clean throughout as Peter walks out the back of the grid. Here we are now, everyone is set, ready. 18 drivers in a circuit of 27 laps, 4, 5 lights. And we're away for the second pre-season race. It's a decent start off the line from Ling. It's Bullet Boy that's got away really well there, and he's going to cut towards the inside of Ryan, heading towards turn 1 there. Cars darting all about there. Ling Hill holds the lead though. It's Bullet Boy and Ryan side by side. Ryan just holds it. They've got a lot of contact down there. Their car's spearing off. I think it was Matthias off the track. Bullet Boy spun off completely into the wall, and he's going to drop back considerably there. The rest of the field still seems to be just about together. 2 Alfa Romeos are side by side here, as Packer actually has made a great start. He's already up to 4th on this opening lap. Got yellow still down there. Bullet Boy now out of the race altogether. Ling leads the way. It's further down the field. Maledictus is losing places, going on to the Mistral straight, and you got cars darting in and about there. You see Maledictus is tucked in there. They're almost 3 wide behind there, down there. It's Chill now who's on the inside. Big dive from Carmentelis, and he gets pitched onto the apex and almost goes around. Gets dived on the inside from Dylan, and they're going side by side now. Up towards the front, it's still those 2 Alfa Romeos very close together as Tiger pulls back to the inside of his teammate Packer, down into turn 10 and makes that move stick just about. Packer's going to tuck in behind. Ling holds the lead. Ryan's going with him. The rest of the field a bit scattered about there. What a start, chaotic start to the second pre-season race, and the order has changed dramatically. It's Packer and Matty that made big gains in this first lap, already in the top 6.
Yes, SkyZ, BenJS and Hive of Hope, and kind of involved in incidents at the front. So they've not had a great time. Will have to fight their way back towards the front of the grid.
I just want to point out Peter from last on the grid is already in 8th, so there has been a lot of carnage down there and a lot of position changes. One could be going on now as Dylan battles away with SkyZ and just about gets his nose in front of the Ferrari. Is going to tuck it behind us. I think my audio is glitching a little bit because I don't have any engine sounds. Oh, it's just come back. Okay, there we go. So that's going to continue on then, as Ling looking very strong up at the front of this race. Carmentelis the penalty already, as yeah, it seems like Ling is going well up at the front. Ryan, decent pace, and Slash, who's managed to find his way up into 3rd place then with a good start, but the rest of the field all very bottlenecked up behind. We're in for a close one here today.
Yeah, definitely, as Loft drives so close. Chill onto the back of Carmentelis, down towards the Mistral straight, engages overtake mode, and Carmentelis, I think, doesn't really fight this too much. He's still side by side. Chill gets through before the chicane, and is up at P11.
Yep, good move from KVR Chill. Peter with a little out of an excursion at the exit of turn 9. He's got Panther in behind him with quite a lot of ERS to deploy as well. Of course, these drivers, a lot of them have burned off a lot of their ERS, using overtake to try and gain positions as quickly as they can in what has been a manic start to this second race, pre-season race here in the League of Europe. And we are covering Lobby 2, of course. But yeah, it is really that those top 2 are slowly but surely break away. BenJS is off again, down at turn 11 and going into turn 12. It's Peter has picked up a penalty as well. As you mentioned, so difficult to stay with the track limit. It's got Bullet Boy around, Ben round, the rest of the field so close, but it's Ryan and Ling, the 2 XL boys, pulling away at the front. Just 2 laps in and they're already out that DRS range.
Yeah, fast lap from Ryan there. So 32.1 is, I think, a very quick time, as SkyZ and Carmentelis are going at it. SkyZ down into the turn 1, and it's fast, it seems.
Carmentelis does run very wide, of course. He is the leading hard runner yet again. I think it's the second time he's gone for the strategy. I think Hypes has gone off down there at turn 2, and he's dropped well down the field to 16th after a great qualifying session, so he's got a lot of work to do to try and pull things back in this French Grand Prix. Looking up the field then, it's Ryan trying to pick up DRS as Packer is quite close to the back of Tiger, and he's had a pretty impressive start to this race and is tucked in there nicely in position 5. We'll see, it looks like it's fairly standard there, fairly clean going down into the Mistral chicane, but those top 2, the pace that they're showing is very impressive, and they could enter into a world of their own if they keep this going there. Ling dragging Ryan along, and they're both showing very impressive pace here on lap 3.
Yeah, definitely. Ling is just really smooth at the moment and just very quick at the moment. Further down we have Matthew just dropping off on those mediums a little bit, as expected. The soft will be faster in the first couple laps, so drop off after 4 or 5. And Speedek picked up another time penalty. He's already got 2. He's got to watch out with those.
Indeed, he's got to try and keep it within track limits. He made such a good start to the race, and he is the second highest medium runner, but those penalties at the moment could unsettle all of that if he can bring that together. I do wonder what Ryan's going to do here in this battle for the lead. He's got a lot of VRS actually, a lot more than Ling. But of course, these guys are both XL, and they might, as Tiger picks up a penalty, they might just try and work together and create a good enough gap so that they're not coming under any pressure once they fight. So maybe that's Ling and Ryan communicating this, and they're going to try and build a gap early on in this race and then battle it later on.
That could be the case, as I've picked up a time penalty. It's not been a great race for him so far. Let's have a look further down the field to if any close battles. It doesn't seem like it. Packer is the closest to his teammates. Let's see, it doesn't look like he's going to go for any sort of move down into turn 8. No, he isn't. He's just having a look where to brake, I reckon. And we'll stay behind for now.
Indeed he will then, but those Alfa Romeos running well up near the front of the field for both of them. You can see a lot of now, this race begins to stabilise there as well. Why picks up a penalty, quite uncharacteristic, but you know, these guys all settling into their little pockets, and what you're going to see is that at this track, it's quite difficult to follow. There's a lot of dirty air, especially through this corner here at turn 11, and through that last sector, very difficult to stay with the car in front, and that's what's going to make the overtaking very difficult. You've got to look after your overtake, you can't just use it like a madman, so it's going to be interesting to see. These guys are going to have to pick their opportunities very wisely to try and move forward then. And of course, as an early pit stop Slash on lap 4, that is extremely early, already in. We'll see if that pays dividends, because yeah, I was not expecting him to come in at that time. MA Slash already in on lap 4.
Yeah, he might go for a 2-stop, I reckon, as Packer has a little bit of a look, but it's not close enough to make a move into turn 1. He'll try maybe later down the straight.
I think Tiger will be coming under pressure now. He does not have that DRS thanks to Slash coming in. He is on medium, so he must be going for a 2-stop there. Unique strategy, as we mentioned, he is soft to hard or the medium to hard. Typically the preferred strategies here at France. I think Packer's going to have a real chance getting past Tiger this time out. As Heaps has had another spin down there. He's really having a nightmare out there today there as Packer picks up that slipstream from Tiger. Pulls to the inside. It should be a straightforward move for the American. He goes through. Ryan getting very close to Ling as well at the front. Packer goes through, and Matty's still with these guys. Matty's made a very strong start to this race as Panther is down the inside of Peter, who tries to hold it around the inside of turn 8 and just about manages to keep it. Runs a little bit wide on exit, and maybe at the mercy of more. Use of the overtake from Big Panther, pulls alongside and through. QBR chilling that slipstream, but I think he's a little bit too far away for the moment. The Red Bull goes up into 8th, Peter down into 9th now, as he, of course, with those penalties beginning to slip back, is not what he would have wanted. So he's going to have to sit back there in position 9 for the time being, and we'll see if there's any pit stops amongst this front group. I was not expecting any pit stops until about lap 6, but it seems like both the top two are going to be in then. A lot of early stops then, and a lot of guys trying to get off these tyres early in this race.
Yeah, it does look like that. I'm curious to see which tyres they'll go on. It looks like Mr. Skyzy is in as well there. And let's see. Hards for Link, Ryan, and I reckon Skyzy will do the same. Benji is in as well. Yeah, Skyzy is on Hards.
Matty, sorry to interrupt you, but Matty has a run at Tiger going towards turn 3 then. He's got to try and grab that into the lane, and Tiger backs out of the move there. He doesn't want to risk it side by side with ILRT Matty, who's now charging on those mediums, got more grip than less wear on the tyres. Of course, fresh tyres as well, as has Packer in front of him. So those guys are taking advantage of that. Running 1-2, and indeed Slash is closing down on Ling, so he's managed to make the most of it. And on those medium tyres, he's going to be charging. I don't think Ling's going to be able to hang on for too long in front.
Ryan picking up a time penalty there. Not great to see so far, as it's very difficult to keep it on the road. We'll see. I think Slash will try and get through as soon as he can. He's quite low in the RS. Well, Link still has 60% just coming out of it, recharging. So let's see, Slash on to the run, down into the chicane. Let's see, he's down the inside into turn 8, late on the brakes, and that should be a completed move for the AlphaTauri.
This could actually help Ling and Ryan though, if they're able to stay in that DRS. Slash is going to be quicker at this stage in the race, you would expect, on those medium compound tyres. Chell goes for a late dive on Peter, going to 12 and gets that line aggressively shut off by the Renault. That could give Carmentals a chance at trying to take advantage, but I think he's still a little bit too far away. Race leader Packer in, Tiger in behind him. The Alfa Romeos have double stacked there. That could be a disaster for them. Tiger, I'm not sure what he was thinking. He's coming to the pits right behind Packer, and he's going to get held up big time. That's going to be a huge knock to his race.
Yeah, definitely not the smartest call at that point in time. There's now Matty into the late on those mediums, as Packer and Maledictus are going onto the horse, and I reckon Tiger will do the same. Yes, he will. Out on track. There's a bit of a train now behind Big Panther. It's Peter, Chill, and Carmentalist, who's on the hards to be noticed. He's sticking with these guys. He could be on for a decent result as well.
Yeah, Carmentos looking solid at the moment out on track. And of course, I just want to mention, those guys that pit onto hards, they are going to be very limited on tyre wear at the end of this race. They could be pushing, you know, serious danger on those tyres. So they got to be careful, because I think that's a very early stop there and very risky to be committing to a one-stop strategy. So those guys, I reckon they're going to be on skates by the end of the race. They've got to be careful on their tyres. Got to look after them, or they could be falling off the cliff in those last few laps.
As QVR Chill is close behind Peter, is he gonna go for a move? It doesn't look like it. He doesn't seem close enough to the Renault's height. Picks up a time penalty. Down to turn left, and he's not close enough and sticks in behind as he has a little look there. But it's a no-go there, and Peter stays ahead for now.
Yeah, Chill's had quite a few looks already trying to get past that Renault, who looks like he's quicker, and he's got to try and take advantage, but of course he needs to be careful with the move then, as JSD comes into the pits now. He's the last of the soft runners in on lap 6, and that's when I was expecting most of them to be coming in. So very, very early on still, Matty stays out in that race lead. Chill gets a good run on the straight on Peter, who defends that inside, going towards turn 1, around the outside. It's going to have to be for QVR Chill. Can he pull that one off there? Not quite. Peter yet again squeezes him out, and he is brutally defending that third place, trying to stay ahead, but this is allowing Carmentos to stay with it. And Matty though has gapped quite considerably to these guys, but all of the guys second, third and fourth, they're going to be at the mercy of Carmentos later on into the race, as Peter runs very wide going through 5, but Carmentos keeping with these guys. He's going to surely be going at them at the end of the race then on the mediums.
Yeah, I expect so. Let's see any moves. Peter's gaining on Big Panther, but turning his overtake back down, so he'll stay behind. Chill's not close enough either, so it's not able. And in the meantime, we have Ling onto the back of Slash still, and both Ling and Brian have been able to keep with him, as Chill is now side by side with Peter down to turn 10. He should be passed. Yes, he is, and he's up into P3.
Yeah, Chill moves forward then. I think that move was coming, and now he's going to chase down onto Big Panther, sorry. Runs a little bit wide. He's going to scoop that back end now, chasing down onto the Red Bull. These medium runners should stay out for a few more laps, and they should have an easier time of it on those hard tyres at the end of the race as well. We'll see Slash now. He may even be holding up these guys very slightly. Of course, he managed to get past Ling. Ling though got very close going through turn 11. He's going to hang on in there, and both Ling and Ryan look very comfortable as Panther comes in pretty early on the mediums. He's going to try and take advantage of an undercut maybe and get out of that train, going for the hards, I presume, indeed. And yeah, he's going for a bit of an undercut then on the cars around him, see if he can maybe break that DRS, because it's so important round here.
In the meantime, Commensal has made a beautiful move running out of turn 1 on Peter, and it's now up to P3, and now behind QVR Chill. He's trying to follow him through.
Indeed, now those hards of course will be coming in to the road at this stage in the Grand Prix. Big Panther is going to come out near the back end of the field, but of course fresh tyres, he's going to use that to his advantage. He's a few seconds behind Skyzy with a few lap fresher tyres, so we see if he can take advantage of that. Carmental is now on a charge, taking advantage. You mentioned that, and fantastic move around the outside of turn 1, just caught the end of that one, and now he's going to have DRS assistance from QVR Chill. Fastest lap from Hypes, but he's a long way back. He's had a race littered with mistakes, and now he's got to try and make up for it then on the medium, so he's on a 2-stop strategy as well. It's not looking good for him at the moment there. He's got to try and pick up, otherwise he's not going to be going anywhere in this race.
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult, and he's looking like he's on a 2-stop, and I don't think there's a lot to salvage, but maybe he can pull off a miracle there. You know, Commensal is still onto the back of QVR Chill. Nothing has changed really there. Maledictus is on the back of JSD for P11 at the moment. In between these hard runners, so let's see if Malik can get past us. Matty is into the pits already and trying to maybe cut off Big Panther from doing a huge undercut.
To be honest,
let's see, he'll be going onto the hards.
I think the gap between them is about 5 seconds anyway, so I think Matty should still be fine by quite some distance.
He's onto the softs.
He is onto the softs. Wow, that is a peculiar strategy, Matty committing to a 2-stop, and I was not expecting that one there. I thought he was going to go to hards, and it could have worked out very well for him, but unorthodox going to softs. I'm not sure about that strategy. It might not pay off for him. We'll see if he's able to make progress. He's going to have to be charging in his second stint.
Yeah, definitely, as he comes out just behind Maledictus. It looks like Matty is going to get through this very easily now. Slash picks up the time penalty. Let's see, Matty's onto the back of Mala, and I think towards turn number 8, we'll see Matti trying for an overtake.
Yeah, sitting in behind that Ferrari, you can see the amount of grip that he has in abundance as Carmento's not close enough to chill at the lead, but he is still looking very threatening, and he has done a good job of keeping with that train on the hards, and now he's taking advantage of it. As Matti to the inside of Maledictus down the Mistral Straight's going to claim that inside line for turn 8. Later on the brakes as well, he's using that grip advantage. An easy pass for Matti up into 11th. He's got to put on a bit of an overtaking clinic if he wants a good result in this race. Jari, or JSD, is the next car up the road to see if he can hunt him down this last sector.
And I think he'll be able to. He says a purple sector 2 as expected there. Now let's see if the low drivers are still out. Chill, Peter, White, I have not pitted yet. And of course Carmentos and Dylan neither. And they'll stay out for now. So let's see. Matti is onto the back of JSD already. So they're all catching the backer up ahead. So let's see how that goes on as Matti tries to brownie outside. Is he going to pull this off? Down the inside of the last corner. Can he pull this off on the exit? Does he have the grip? Puts an overtake, DRS open, and he should be passed here. Good move from Mario Team Matti, and he's getting on with his charge towards IRO Packer.
That's what he needs to do, ILR Team Matti there. That was opportunistic. As soon as the gap opens, he's got to take it. Of course, trying not to make any contact, but of course, those kind of judged overtakes there, be vigilant, and that's how he's going to make this strategy work. Packer, of course, next up the road. He's a decent distance away, so you may not get him into the Mistral chicane. He's going to be pushing with everything he has, though. They're about even on ERS, these guys. But Matti, of course, is going to put on that overtake now, and he's going to try and close him down the straight. As yet again, Peter picks up yet another penalty. He's having real problems with that, as Matti is not close enough to Packer for the time being. But of course, on the brakes, on the turn-in, and on the exit, he's going to be gaining all the time on the Alfa Romeo. Picks up that throttle yet again, chasing him down. I'm looking up the front there because Carmentos is hassling the rear end of QVR Chill, definitely not giving any room to breathe up in that leading fight, as Matti still closing down on Packer, and that grip advantage is really going to show in this last sector. It closes in through turn 11, but the overtaking opportunities are few and far between as race leader Chill comes into the pits into lap 10, and he's going to look to maybe cover up. We'll see if he's close to Big Panther actually, as Packer gets a bit of oversteer going off of turn 12. Matti sits in behind actually going into 14, and he's still going to sit in behind. But yeah, Chill, where does he emerge there? Watch by Lion as well, so where are these guys going to come out relative to the guys that have already pitted?
As Carmentos picked up a time penalty, and I saw White picking up a speeding penalty, unfortunately. Yeah, let's see, QVR Chelsea emerges from the pit around now. Let's see, there's Sky passed, Big Panther is just about passed, so Jill is not too far from where he was, even though Big Panther did undercut by quite a large amount. And White is just there with Ben side by side, and looks like Ben is thrown to P15.
He's going to run wide a little bit though, going through turn 2. I think he will still be fine to defend, sitting behind him. White has not had a great time of it so far compared to what you'd expect from him, their former Division 1 driver as well. But Big Panther is going to be under pressure surely from Chill now with those 3 lap pressure tires. He's going to be charging, but probably not on this occasion. Not quite tight, or not quite close enough, sorry, to that Red Bull, and he's just going to have to sit in behind as Matti has got past Packer now, so he's going to be chasing down now onto the cars ahead. He's got a large gap to try and chase down, and of course another pit stop to make. He's got to be on it all the way from lights to flag if he wants a good result. I really respect the strategy from Matti, but it's going to be a lot of fun for him. He's going to do a lot of overtaking, but I'm not sure if it's going to give him the best overall position that he could have achieved.
As Peter is now into the pits, and that's the last of the medium runners to not have pitted yet. And now going to the hards, as Carmentos is now inherit the race leads once again, and Dylan now into P2.
Yeah, Carmentos still doing very well up at the front. I do fear though that he is going to be quite far down the field when he pits, around about like that Panther Chill region like he was before, if he can still keep going to a decent level on those hard tyres. Peter emerges from the pit lane. He's going to be quite a ways down the field, I'm afraid, as JSD getting quite close now to Packer, and he's dragging Maledictus with him. This looks to be the closest battle out on track now. Packer, JSD and Maledictus all on the train, heading onto the Mistral Straight for the 13th time. We'll see if any moves come off here.
And let's see, JSD is indeed close, and he'll be looking for the exit. He has a lot of DRS to play with, 75% of the skies he picks up the time penalty. Packer will defend with the overtake, but not so much as he turns it back down. JSD is closing and engage that overtake the button once again. Down here instead of turn 8, will he make the move stick? He was late on the brakes. Packer trying to make a move around the outside, and he still is ahead, but JSD on the exit of turn 9 looks to be getting past, and that should be it. Packer is still hanging on there, but he's slotting in behind, and it's JSD up into P7.
Yeah, JSD makes that move, a little bit of a battle with Packer, but is just about able to find his way through. Packer still sits very close in behind that Haas, maybe looking to try and bounce back, but he's got a bit of a disadvantage on ERS. Maledictus is very low on ERS, and he's got to conserve it. Being third in the train, he's got to try and hold on with that DRS, and I'm seeing so many penalties from Peter. He might even be pushing disqualification very soon. He's really struggled, and yeah, I think it's not been a great return to form for him. Peter, he's had a bit of a tough time so far in this race, and it's not looking good for him, but of course he's got room to improve. Of course, he's still another pre-season race, and then the real season kicks off then. All these drivers, of course, still getting used to the game, and it's, it's an interesting dynamic here. We see who's picked up the pace, who's a little bit off where we'd expect them to be, and yeah, these guys, of course, getting back into the swing of things there, but we're seeing how they adapt, and currently it's those two XL guys, Ling and Ryan, that have really impressed, and they've been in a world of their own in this race so far.
Yeah, they've been really quick at this point. I don't think they're gaining a lot on the other hard drivers, but they've been so consistent that it doesn't really matter. As Slash, Ling and Ryan, Ryan not yet because he's dropped off a little bit from the back there, but they've caught up to Dylan there. Let's see if Dylan will be a hazard in the way, or Slash will be easy to get past. Let's see how that pans out.
Slash is going to have a tough time on his hands even still, because he's completely out of ERS, so he's got no overtake to deploy. Of course, he'll harvest it a little bit going through this third sector, but that's a bit of a disadvantage for him in trying to pull off overtakes. He's got to try and work that out, then see what he can do against Iro Dillon, who holds that P2, 6 seconds or so behind Carmentals, who could still be on for a decent finish here. We'll see how that all pans out. I see a bit of oversteer there for Slash. He's going to be starting to push a lot of tyre wear now on those mediums. He does have DRS off of Iro Dillon, closing him down a bit down the main straight, and of course Ling still sits him behind. If they get held up too much, it could allow Ryan back in. As I just want to mention, JSD's actually done very well in this race, over up to 6th, and actually the third highest out of cars that are on a one-stop that haven't, out of the cars that don't have to pit yet. So he's actually managed to work his way up then, and he's in a very good position. Packer and Maledictus, Skyzy also in fights for top 5, so those guys have all impressed in this race so far. They're in the fight for some high positions here.
Yeah, especially Skyzy, he's dropped down from like P5 on the grid, I think it was, or P6. Hype's got a ton of penalties. Managed to fight his way back up as Slash is close to the back of Dylan there. And he'll be looking to get past soon, and this won't help Ling in the slightest as it allows Ryan to catch back up.
Indeed, it will. Ryan, that gap under 2 seconds again. But I don't think Dylan's really that much slower, and it's not too detrimental to Ling. I think Ryan does have 3 seconds penalties. I don't think Ling does, so he's still got that in his hand at the very least. Packer not close enough to JSD. These guys have actually both used quite a bit of overtake to try and get ahead of the game, and they're almost on the verge of dropping Maledictus. Maledictus is just hanging on to that DRS. He's racing to Carmentals. Finally comes in on 15. He's going to be hitting on those mediums, surely. We'll see where he comes out. We'll see how far up he can charge through the field. The Slash goes into the pits as well, and that's going to free up Ling now to have a go at Dylan.
Yeah, well, as Carmentals will be putting on the meat, and I reckon Slash will do the same. Let's see where these guys come out. In the meantime, there's a little bit of a train behind Packer here. Actually, that's behind JSD, my bad there. He has a 4-car train. Let's see Carmentals as Chill goes past, Big Panther goes past, Saiga goes past, Peter is not too far behind, so Carmentals comes out in P11. Slash comes out in P13, I reckon. White Y is not too far behind. That's how it will unfold for now.
Yep, Carmentals now. Apparently his tyres are 15 laps old. They definitely aren't, so maybe not the best on Codemasters' part.
Is down the inside of Dylan there for the race lead, and he inherits it back. Dylan backs out and settles for second for now. He'll probably pit his lap, I reckon, so let's see.
Yeah, Ling gets a very nice exit to cover him up. JSD with a penalty, that's also quite uncharacteristic of him. Usually extremely clean on penalties, so he's made a little bit of an error there, but he's still on for a very good finish if he can keep that momentum going. Further down the field there, that's BenGS who breezes past YHYY, both drivers that I think would have hoped for more from this race, and they're going to look to maybe pick up places near the end of the race. I'm not going to say, I have to say it's been a very high quality race. I've not really seen many incidents there. The driving has been very clean out there, and it's very good to see. It's maybe not been the most action-packed or chaotic race, but it's been a very good standard of driving, and as you predicted, Iro Dillon into the pit stop. We'll see where he emerges, we'll see how far he can climb up the field in the dying laps of this race.
Yeah, definitely. As Carmenzel is now onto the back of this group already, behind QVR Chill. Speaking of QVR Chill, he just picked up a time penalty at that hairpin. It seems Carmenzel wants to get past Tiger as soon as he can. So he's in the back of him, and it's down the inside and should be passed easily here down into turn 1. He's up into P9 and he's on the charge.
Indeed he is now, moving forward Carmenzel. He's used quite a lot of his overtake. He had reserves of it, now he's got about 35% to use in his charge. Big Panther does pick up a penalty there, 3 seconds, going to set him back. I know Carmenzel does have at least one, so he's got to try and put some distance there. I think Child also has at least one, so these guys at least working with 3 seconds. And of course Carmenzel's maybe a bit of a disadvantage here because Big Panther has that DRS over QVR Chill, maybe using it to good effect as he closes down the McLaren, down into the Mistral Chicane, claims the inside line, but Chill very late on the brakes around the outside and is just about able to keep 7th, but for how much longer? Big Panther has a good exit. Carmenzel's in the slipstream, gonna pull maybe to the outside towards turn 10. They're 3 wide on the run down towards 10. Could have ended in tears. Big Panther backs out, and Carmenzel's taking full advantage of that situation, up to 7th already. Panther looks to the inside of Chill, but that Godor gets firmly shot by the McLaren on 2 occasions through turn 11 as Carmenzel took full advantage of Chill and Big Panther's battle, slips through up into P7, and that's going to help him no end now in this race as he looks to charge up towards that train led by JSD now. He could be on for a podium here.
Yeah, no, this is, I think a lot of the drivers up ahead have also at least one penalty, so he just needs to catch them on track. And those guys with all the tires and a harder compound as well, it will be tough for them to hold on as Carmenzel sets the fast lap of the race with a 1:31.4, and he's looking very quick at the moment.
Indeed he is, then he's catching these guys by more than a second a lap, I think, as Peter again gets a penalty. Oh man, it's not been a great race for him, but of course on his time back, can't expect much more, but we'll see if he's able to pick things up. JSD trying everything in his power to try and break Packer, and it's really a lot of Packer's fight can be down to Maledictus if he chooses to try and attack the Alfa Romeo, but he's not got much in terms of the overtake there, so he could be spared for now, Will Packer, and he closes down JSD yet again with DRS and slipstream down the Mistral straight. Still has to sit in P4, and of course as a former Division 3 driver, he can be happy with how this has gone so far. Of course, it's kind of taking advantage of having a really good start to this race, as has JSD to be fair, and those guys now in that podium fight looking very strong just for managing to get that track position early, and it shows how important that is in this game because they're still in that podium fight.
Yeah, definitely. It's a 4-car train as Carmenzel has now got Chill out of DRS. So he'll be looking to charge on 2.5 seconds. I think he's gained more than a second this lap. Very impressive pace from Carmenzel at the moment, and he's looking to close up. He's going for the final corner. He has 8 laps to do it. I think he'll be able to get at least close to them.
I think he will easily be close to them. It's just a case of trying to make those moves stick as Skyzy begins to size up Maledictus just in front of the 2 Ferraris, still running away in a star on the track. Maledictus beginning to struggle yet again to stay in that DRS where you maybe drop if Packer has a good run these next few corners. Carmenzel is catching these guys so rapidly, and we'll see if he's able to keep that charge going there, sustain it as Heaps picks up yet another time penalty. I think Maledictus has just about saved it, so he may be able to just about hang with Packer and JSD, but Carmenzel, I think, is definitely going to catch these guys and is definitely going to be threatening. It's just though when he hits that train, he's going to be faced with a lot of dirty air, and how much that will affect his tyres, how that will affect his pace is yet to be seen. So while he's showing great pace right now, the charge for the podium is far from over.
Yeah, let's see. So in behind we still have that train between Chill, Big Panther and Tiger. As further down the field we have Matty and Hypes going side by side for P15, bit of Archie Barchie there. Seems Matty is first. Huis goes a bit off track there. White Y has left the session, unfortunately. Just as last week, which is not nice to see, but Matty is up into P15 there. And he'll be looking on a little bit of a charge, but it doesn't look like his strategy has paid off. Credit for him to try it though.
Yeah, he's got to try and really pushing these last few laps, but his tyre advantage isn't as massive because he's got Slash and Dylan. And Slash has actually made that strategy work very well to his credit, as Peter comes into the pits and he retires from the session. That's not great to see, because I do want to reiterate this point. I don't want to be, as White's been disqualified for parking. He's already left the session, and we've got yellows in sector 2 and 3. And I just want to reiterate, guys, this race is for evaluation purposes. To retire from the race, it's just not. You're not giving them the information that they need. You know, maybe rage quitting is a bit more understandable in a race, even if you shouldn't do it. But please, if it's an evaluation race, don't retire from races. It's quite disrespectful to the organisers, in all honesty. So here's my mini rant. We'll keep going with the proper race commentary. Still, JSD holds off Packers. Carmento's nearly into that DRS, and he's still flying up to the back of this podium pack.
Yeah, definitely. Yes. I want to point out JSD is still gaining on Ling and Ryan at the moment. I've just been looking at that gap. He's come down a second in 2 laps. It looks like Ling and Ryan are suffering from a little bit of tyre wear from pin early, so that might be quite harsh for them, and they'll maybe struggle a little bit towards the end of the race.
Yeah, indeed. We mentioned earlier as well that they're going to be very tight on those tyres, so they managed to get a brief gap up at the front of the grid and managed to extend their gap, but who knows, it may just come back to bite them. Of course, we are running out of laps in this race, so they may just be able to hang on, and that undercut will pay off as Chill picks up yet another penalty. With how close it is behind him, that could really cost him. Packer getting more threatening to the back of JSD, but JSD is very quick through this first sector, and you can see the understeer that Packer gets in that dirty air, and that sets him back as Carmentos now within DRS. So has now charged in these last few laps. 4 cars ahead of him, separating himself from the podium. Let's see if he can get it.
Yeah, his first stop is Mr. Skyzy, but of course these drivers having DRS themselves as well. That could be quite harsh for Commensalist to actually get past. Have to close up, maybe not on the straight, but through the corners. And then maybe if he gets a good exit at some point, he'll get past. Packer is close to the back of JSD as well, as the DRS will help him with that. Looking at the ERS percentages, it looks like JSD is on the best of this, as Chill and Big Panther are side by side. I just about missed that, but Chill keeps on P8, and Big Panther can't overtake him for now.
I think what could benefit Carmentals is if Packer, who I think does have the capacity to go for a rival on JSD, if he goes for that, then it will bunch them all up, and just like what happened with Chill and Big Panther, he may be able to just slide through and take advantage of that. But at the moment, he does have more grip than all these guys, but in a DRS train, it's very difficult to pull off those overtakes. I'm seeing yellows slowly but surely moving throughout the track. I'm not sure why that's the case. I don't think there's any cars there, so a little bit odd. So these guys, of course, will have to hold back on their overtaking, unfortunately, going through. As now, Packer again gets very close down this main straight, and actually is almost threatening a move on JSD, but watch that little bit of understeer that comes from sitting right behind a car. JSD's just about able to pull those extra few car lengths, and if he keeps that going to the next section of track, he doesn't really have much to worry about. So JSD's quick in the right places, so that Packer is not able to threaten him, at least for now.
As Big Panther and Chill are still side by side. Chill very late on the brakes there, but Big Panther is through. And Tiger is looking as well. They're all very close. Chill on the exit. He gets underneath indeed, and he'll have to DRS onto the straight. And have to cut in, switch back, and Tiger's in behind. Yeah, look at him. He has a lot of straight line speed here. There might be free wide at this point. He's down the inside goes Tiger. As Comments up ahead goes past. Guys, he has slashes on this as well. He's down the inside of Panther. He can't get through for now.
Looks for a better exit though off of turn 9. It's going to out-traction that Red Bull and goes through into 10th just for the time being there. Big Panther tried to use that overtake. They're both so limited on it there as Tiger maybe coming under pressure from Chill, who closes him down a little bit, going down towards turn 11. Chill tries it round the outside, looks to try and find it, but runs out of grip, runs out of runs out of road on the outside and has to settle in behind. But Tiger, what a great opportunistic move as Carmentos sitting in behind. He's got past Skyzy actually. Now Maledictus, the other Ferrari, is next up, who parks it on the inside, going into that final corner, opens that DRS. Overtake is on for both of these guys, and Maledictus looks like he's just going to be able to hold him back for now, and they still run 5th and 6th. But Carmentos is able to make moves. Oh, he gets very close to Maledictus. His difference in grip and difference in entry speed is proving to be a little bit of a challenge for him. He's got to try and keep out of trouble, but if he does, he should be able to continue to move forward there. Maledictus still next up on that Ferrari. We'll see if he can move through it.
Yeah, let's see if they're coming out of turn 5 and into turn 6. Let's see, Maledictus has a bit of a wide exit, and let's see, Carmentos looks to be very tidy, a lot of straight line speed, and that should be the move done for Carmentos. As he's side by side still with Maledictus, but I think Maledictus won't fight this too much, and Carmentos gets through, and he's up into P5 as he runs quite deep.
Yeah.
But I think he has the grip to hold on there, and he'll catch back up, and Packer is next on his list to overtake.
And those guys are good friends as well, so we'll see if Packer is going to fight. It'll probably make him fight harder, to be honest, knowing him. But Carmentos on that charge, and now we've got both Haas cars running in the top 5. Successful for him as Big Panther is side by side with Slash, who's claimed that inside line, going into turn 11 there. On the outside is Big Panther, though he's going to try and make that stick, but runs out of road, and yet again, Slash is just about able to get through, and here we are, Chill's next up on his list, who still sits behind Tiger. Gets a lot of oversteer going through 12 as penalty Packer. That could be a huge blow to his chances in this fight. He's trying to hold on still. GSD, but is struggling a fair bit. Is almost out that DRS. He's going to have to use that down the main straight to close back up a decent amount, but that's going to leave him more vulnerable to Carmentos, who continues to charge. We've got just 4 laps to go in this French Grand Prix, and I think Carmentos could do it. You know, he's making fast progress, and these guys are still catching Ryan in particular. Ryan's under pressure. Carmentos, I mean, any of these guys really could have a possible shot at P2. Ryan's tyres are going off the cliff here.
Yeah, it does look like that. Ling is being able to hold on very nicely on those tyres. We know him as the cleanest riders as Carmentos is now onto the back of Packer and side by side with him, and he's passed, it looks like. It's up into P4, and that shouldn't be a problem, and it's only one place ahead behind the podium, excuse me, as yeah, that's JSC, the other half, and he needs to get past. He has 3.5 laps to do it. Let's see if he can do it.
Considering he's got past cars that were also using DRS, I don't think the move on JSD is going to be much of a problem compared to the other ones. We'll see if JSD is going to have the fight to try and stay ahead. Now, I'm not sure about Carmentos. I know he has at least 3 seconds. I think Ryan has 3 seconds as well. So it's going to be still a tough task for him to chase down Ryan. But they are still catching him. And Ryan's tyres, as we mentioned, are going to be going off. So now Carmentos on the back of JSD. Heights picks up yet another penalty. It's been him and Peter have been picking up a lot of pins in this race, as now DRS is open for Carmentos. Overtake is on briefly and then switches it back off, but he's still got a good run down the main straight, but he sets in behind, I think, looks towards the inside but doesn't commit onto the brake, so he's just going to have to set in behind his de facto teammate for this race. Further down the field there, and it's Chill and Tiger side by side in the turn 1 there, and there's contact. No, sorry, Tiger. The ghosting system actually, I'm getting a lot of lag. I'm not sure about you, but Tiger's spun off.
I'm having the same.
And Slash
I did
now,
not see what happens.
Yeah, Slash now is wheel to wheel with Chill. Chill just about holds it around the outside ahead of Slash, who does have a tyre advantage, so he can maybe make that work. And Carmentos is going to breeze past JSD, and look at that gap to Ryan. That's about 2 seconds with 2.5 laps left to go, and much fresher tyres. Well, apparently not according to my graphics, but in reality, he could have a shot at this. Carmentos, with that strategy, starting on the hards, maybe P2 here. A Slash down the inside of Chill, and this time he might just make a little bit of contact between them. Chill almost goes around and parks it. There's contact behind with Big Panther, and Chill immediately back on the overtake to try and chase down Slash, going down towards turn 10. He's picked it up. He's almost out of the ARS, but so is Slash. So around the outside looks Chill. No way through. Slash defends the inside into turn 11 there, and Chill again round the outside. Can he pull that one off? No, he's just going to get cut off on the exit. Slash holds 8, and we'll see if he can convert that now with his tyre advantage. We've got 2 laps to go now. Leng has got a solid advantage, 4 seconds ahead out in this race, but Carmentalist a second and a half behind. This could be so tight by the end. He could have DRS in the last lap. It could come down to the last few corners in this fight for P2.
Yeah, definitely. Carmentalist is looking quick, and JC, fair play to him, hanging on to Carmentalist this lap. Only 5 cents away, and he could benefit from this as well. Chills once again onto the back of Slash, not into turn 1 either. And Slash has the way better exit out of turn 2, so for now, Slash stays ahead in P8.
Indeed he is there. Panther picks up a penalty. How much will that set him back? Carmentalist is nearly there. He's having to break that slipstream to GSD, who, as you mentioned, has done very well to stay with it. He's got more overtake to use, actually, so he's using that to full effect in these last few laps now to stay with Carmentalist and maybe have a shot if Carmentalist makes a mistake. Who knows, it could happen, particularly if he gets into contact with Ryan, who is still just ailing now on those tyres. He and Ling have been the class of the field in general this race, but of course pitting so early has began to come back to bite them. Ling has managed, he's just about got enough for buffer, he's pulled out a 4-second gap, no penalties, he should be good, barring no mistakes, but Ryan is going to be in the firing line. Carmentalist with him, GSD is with him as well. Both Haas drivers are going to be pressuring him, looking for any way through on this final lap now in this pre-season race. Ling is away and clear. Can Ryan hold on to P2? There'll be a superb result. The Carmentalist and GSD are charging, 1 lap left to go.
Yeah, let's see his 510s as Carmentalist open up the DRS, and is not really getting as much as he'd hoped to, but I think he's just waiting maybe for the main straight. That'd be the best opportunity, I reckon. As he's trying to get a better exit here as well. Maybe he has a better run, he has a great
Backs
run.
out.
Stays behind. And he's indeed wait, there's Ryan picks up time penalty. That's not a nice place to get a penalty, just on that little kink towards turn 3. And that may cost his hopes of the podium. Let's see, Carmentalist has a better exit, it seems, onto the back of Ryan as the overtake is engaged, and he should be passed easily. JSD is looking as well. I think he's not close enough for now. Ryan tries everything he's got, but Carmentalist just has that little bit more ERS and is passed. Let's see, can JSD get past as well? He's close onto the back of Ryan as he has a bit of oversteer, and that might just about ruin his chances, and just engage the overtake button bit too soon.
I'm not sure about Carmentalist's penalties, but he may be on his way to a superb P2 here. Ling, we are very confident, is away and clear. Any last lap battles in this race? The Ferraris are very close, but I don't think there's going to be much battling. Dylan indeed is closing down on Big Panther. This one going down towards turn 11. He's got that overtake on, but he's not quite close enough to the Red Bull into 11, and he's going to look to try and force any overtakes. Goes round the outside. Can he pull that one off? He gets cut off, squeezed out by the Red Bull as Ling round the final corner up to the line. He takes the race win in this pre-season race. Superb drive from Ling, never really come under any pressure. Carmentalist may see through in second place. We'll see how this all ends up. GSD knows that if Ryan didn't get that penalty, he would have managed it. Packer just went out. Maledictus on the podium and nearly a P2. Where did that come from? Maledictus on the podium.
I think he kept clean on penalties.
Must have been completely clean. We didn't even consider that. Superb for Maledictus. That's a podium and nearly second place. What a drive.
Yeah, him at third, Ryan at fourth, then JSD, Packer, Skyzy, Slash, Big Panther, and Chilbert up to top 10 with Dylan and Matty just in behind. Tiger, Ben, and Hypes. Hypes just driving around in turn 13 and 14 and waiting for him to cross the line. And of course, Peter, Boy, and White not finishing the race, unfortunately.
Yeah, LR Hypes around the last corner. He is going to see through P15 then, not the race that he would have wanted at all. So that is going to round things up then. Superb drive from Ling, and really fair play to all of our podium finishers. They all drove fantastic races there and were rewarded with their position. Predictably, Carmentalist does get driver of the day for his superb strategy work, managing to get up the field and just claim that position too. So there is XL Ling, and he has made a statement. I think he won the pre-season race last season as well. And yeah, he is going to take that forward. He could be a contender going ahead of this season there. That's a well-earned victory for him.
Yeah, definitely very impressive drive. Haven't had to deal with much overtaking, to be honest. Just a little bit with Slash and Dylan at some point in the race. Well, he's driving excellent, and he's taking the win here. And Carmental is in second, and Maledictus is running off the podium.
Yep, Ryan does impressed again in fourth, just a bit unlucky at the end. JSD comes home fifth ahead of Packer, and Skyzy rounds out the top 7 then, just ahead of Slash, who used that rather unique strategy to relatively good effect. Big Panther and Chill, they were in the wars throughout this race. They round out the top 10, 9th and 10th. Dylan, another unorthodox strategy, didn't quite make it work as well as Carmentals. He finishes 11th. Matty didn't make his strategy work as well as Slash, as Tiger, Ben, Hypes round out the finishers, and Pizza, Spike YY and Bullet Boy unfortunately did not see the checkered flag. That is going to be it then for our second race back in a little while. Quite an entertaining one, very clean driving out there in general, so good shout out to everyone. XL Ling though on the top step of the podium. How was that going to affect his confidence ahead of the new season?
Yeah, I think he'll be very happy with that. That's it's got to be a confidence boost to finish in total 10 seconds ahead of anyone else in race time, keeping it clean. As we're pretty used to it from him. Really, it's more of a surprise if he gets a penalty. So yeah, that's got to be a confidence boost for him.
Indeed, it will be. So that is it then for our second pre-season race. Hopefully you enjoyed the racing. Hopefully you enjoyed our stream on the race and our take on it. So yeah, that is it then. Lobby 2, pre-season race 2 is in the books. So yeah, without much more to say, I've been Zaka. He's been Verstappen. And until next time, we'll see you later.